how I feel about contesting shots and defense in the NBA, how linked they are. Or they're doing a good job of that. I think they're solid in what they're doing offensively. Their guards are explosive, and their bigs put a lot of pressure on the rim. They get on the glass on the offensive end as well, so they're good.
You got a couple of rookies who they like to defend in Barnes and Mobley, but they can defend and they do it smartly. Is that sort of odd that a rookie so early in his career will get the nuance of playing defense?
Maybe, Doug. I think you're right, though. I think these two guys both are, the tools and the talent they've been given. They've realized it and used it as a strength and played to those strengths. And, again, a lot of defense starts with the want to and desire to want to do it. And I think they both, understand that that's how they can make impactful and winning plays in games. So they both do it.
Hey, we didn't have a chance to ask you yesterday, but Earl put out his statement last night, and he really has kind of put himself in a pretty uncomfortable situation to speak out the way he did. You've only worked with him now for a couple of months, I guess 3 months. So what about him strikes you someone who'd be willing to take on that burden and speak out the way he did?
Yeah, Michael, first of all, he's, member of our staff. I've, gotten to know him pretty well here over the last few months. Really respect him and his abilities. I mean, this thing's an investigation. I'm sure the league is knee deep into it. I don't really have any comments on it specifically other than we'll support him, right? As a friend, as a colleague, and our organization will support him and be there for whatever he may need.
If you have a decision, I think coming up tomorrow with Bonga and Decker, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm going to probably get through tonight and see how it goes. With that, I wouldn't probably think too much about it till after tonight's game to see where we are. And we'll report back tomorrow on that.
They tell me that Pascal might have done all that or something. Should have on a private jet to see a doctor. Is he anything over him? Is he close to playing, working harder?
Yeah, he's getting closer every day, Doug. We did everything's checked out really good. He's hit all the check marks and everything of where he's supposed to be, or maybe even a little ahead. And I would where are we at here today? Friday? Yeah, I would imagine maybe next week we'll see him on the court. I'm not quite sure yet in what capacity. I think there's some of that to be ironed out yet. I've told you he's been practicing with contact for a little over a week now, but all that's been pretty short. The practices aren't long. He has had a couple runs with the 905s, the 905 as well. And I'm just trying to look. We do have a 2-day gap next week where maybe we'll get a lengthy practice in, and that would probably be a good determining factor of when we do go ahead and get him out there. But I think it's coming close.
Utah had a little bit of a setback after he worked in this. So through that setback, and where is he?
Yeah, he did have a little setback. Doug, but he as well is progressing pretty good. He, we didn't do much today. We did have a short shoot around, but he was out there moving really well. Better than I'd seen him move for since last week with the 905. So I think he's coming along as well, but he's probably still a little bit away.
You mentioned in your last sports Ohio, you mentioned playing against Darius Garland's dad. Well,
yes.
I'm kind of thinking you probably Darius as well, taking the part against him. But the growth that you've seen in him in year 1, 2, or 3, you mentioned the backcourt and how they've grown and how fast they are. But specifically, what did you see in him on this growth?
It's kind of, I've mentioned this about some other guys. I think I mentioned it about RJ Barrett the other night, that all of a sudden, and Garland fits into this, all of a sudden they seem to have the tempo of the game where they want it, right? They get the ball and they move kind of when they want to move. You can't speed them up. They get better at the end of drives. They get better at, making the right decision, which isn't always a shot, right? A lot of times Garland's doing the same. He'll go down there and probe and you think it's a shot, and the next thing you know, it's a lob pass, a great pass, and I think, or a dump off or a wraparound or whatever. So I just think it's the time that this league takes for you to get used to all the speed and size moving around and the reps that you get. I would say just seems he's more comfortable out there than he's ever been.
I want to ask you about if you buy into this philosophy in terms of if you go after offensive rebounds, that might hurt your transition defense. Because right now you guys are achieving the rare feat of being, I think, number one in the league in terms of restricting transition points, but also being number one in offensive rebounding. Do you buy into that philosophy? Like if you chase offensive rebounds, transition points?
Well, I think that it's, I think ideally when you carve things out and you say, you want to focus on something, what are you willing to give up? I think is kind of the point of your question. And I try to go through this with other things that, ideally you'd like to say we're going to do both, right? We're going to go hard to the glass and we're still going to get back. It's kind of like, in our half court defense, we say we're going to really protect the paint, and yet we're really going to get back out the shooters. We try not to, buy into that philosophy, and takes a lot of effort to be able to do both. And guess that's probably where I lean on that scale. Is we want to crash the glass, and we want to get back and not give up easy buckets.
Just getting back to Pascal and his return, obviously you're going to have to make some tough decisions on what to do with your lineup. Have you started, I assume you have, thinking about how you're going to manage that, and what goes into that to deciding that?
Yeah, I think naturally you think about it a little bit, Nikki, but again, I usually don't go too far with it because, again, I think you just really never know game to game, day to day, week to week, who's going to be available and all that kind of stuff. So it's even like going into a game like tonight, you do sit down and kind of push the marker around the dry erase board about your possible rotations, and they never even come close to what you're doing. So it's like, most of the time I do it just to take up some time. It's like, well, why am I even doing this? Something happens, somebody picks up fouls, somebody, so it's like you do it and you think about it, but I don't anyway, spend a whole lot of time with it. And I just try to keep an open mind, and I really don't know how it'll probably end up rolling out. Again, I think a lot of it at the start will have to do with where we think he's going to be minutes wise, right? And again, I would imagine it's been a long time since he played. I would imagine again, I gotta figure this out, but I would imagine there'll be some type of limited restriction type minutes, and then figure out which is the best way to accomplish that and with who and all that kind of stuff. But I probably won't give it too much serious thought till when we get this 2-day break next week, probably in between games, is when I'll probably get the dry erase board out and start doing a little bit more seriously.
That was the head coach of the Toronto Raptors, Nick Nurse, about an hour ago here at the arena. When we come back, the starting lineups and then the tip-off of the Raptors and Cavs on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Callum?
Yes, Michael.
You said your next big idea would make me need to lie down and place a cool wet rag on my forehead.
Yes, sir. I believe that's what I told you.
Okay, I brought a cool wet rag. Now tell me your next big idea.
It's called Diamonds on Diamonds on Diamonds.
Diamonds on diamonds on diamonds?
Yes, Diamonds on Diamonds on Diamonds.
Tell me why.
It's a diamond ring with a big center diamond.
Yes?
Sitting on top of a donut made of diamonds.
A big diamond sitting in a donut of diamonds?
Yes, and the ring holding the diamond, sitting in the diamonds, is completely covered in diamonds.
Diamonds on diamonds on diamonds.
And the price is just $2,999.
Callum?
Yes, Michael?
I think I need to lie down and place this cool wet rag on my forehead.
Oh, we're only getting started, sir. We're just getting started.
Spence Diamonds. Wow! Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
On November